And suddenly you go from a country which is primed to be radicalized. It's primed for right-wing populism. It's primed for an America First movement. And all of a sudden, now that Trump is thrust into the White House, now all of that revolutionary fervor is deflated.
So he's upset that there was no bloodbath. He is upset that right-wingers won through democracy and people didn't just gun down themselves on the streets. When I said that him and Hassan need to join forces and make an America tour promoting Democrats, I wasn't kidding. Like, I legitimately think that these two individuals happen to have a lot in common. Like, they both want to vote Democrat, they both want Democrats to win, they both want the bloodbath. Again, I do not understand why people get upset when I'm calling this out, because it's true. Like, I looked at the previous comment section and people were calling me a grifteur. Like, what is the grifteuring if I call out reality? He wants, and he said that he wants people to vote Democrat. Hassan Piker wants people to vote Democrat. Hassan Piker wants la revolución. Nick Fuentes doesn't want right-wingers to win at the ballots. He wants the bloodbath, la revolución. They both want La Revolución. Now, when the La Revolución happens, I'm pretty sure, like, then they can part ways. But, like, up until that point, they seem to be on the same page on every angle.
If Trump is doing it, they will eat it up. And that would not be true in the alternative case. And what I mean by that is, had Kamala won, let's say for the sake of example, she would be bringing us to war in Iran as well, without a doubt. The Israelis would be pushing her. The same interests would be pushing her. But if Kamala was bringing us to war in Iran, would any Republican support it? Not even Trump would support it. Not even Trump himself would support it. Trump would be on Truth Social, or I guess he would be in prison, but Trump would be against it. 100% of Republicans would be against it. Certainly, National Review would be cheering it on. They would say, today is the day Kamala became the president, when she bombed Iran. But you know that the right-wing populists, the majority of them, almost to a man, would be saying, wow, this is the deep state. This is the Clinton-Kamala machine. They just want endless wars. If she didn't release the Epstein files, they would be outraged. It'd be MAGA night at the White House. And that is the difference. Now, hear me out here. A lot of people are going to watch this clip, mark my words, and they're going to say, wow, he wanted Kamala to win. This guy's a Democrat. He can't let...
I mean, to be fair, I guess he's listening to my criticism. I'm not going to say that in this clip he wants to be a Democrat. No, I'm saying that him and Hassan Piker are politically aligned right now. Like if one wins, the other one is happy, okay? But let's analyze what he said up until now, because it's very interesting. So, in his infinite wisdom, he is basically suggesting that if Kamala Harris would have won, then I guess then the revolution would have happened. Okay, let's say that the revolution would have happened. And let's say that not only the revolution happens, but his side wins. Because this is another important thing, right? Like, I keep hearing people that want civil war, and they always assume, like, their side wins. Like, they already know how many generals they have on their side. They already know how many states have aligned with them. They already know the logistics and how many brigades and divisions and who's going to fight and who isn't, right? And there is, like, no possibility of them losing. It's always they're going to win. Okay, fine. Let's say your side goes to war. You manage to win. You do the revolution. And then you get Trump, right? Like, what happens? You get a right-winger. And you basically accomplish what people accomplish by voting. Like, why would you believe that anything would change? Like, you're not forwarding your guy. You know, you're not basically saying, oh, I got Lenin over here or whatever the fuck. I got Pinochet or someone, you know, like some guy that's, like, ready to step in if La Revolución happens. No, like, there is no one. You just want the bloodshed. And then you think that through the magic of revolution, all the problems go away. I got news for you, and anyone that knows history will agree with me that after revolutions, most people don't get what they want. Like, it's actually worse. This is, by the way, the reason you have democracies. It's literally to avoid the revolutions. And Nick Fuentes basically says, oh my goodness, like people voted right wing. But okay, the second one, and we have to address this, right? Like the whole concept is retarded. Like, I'm sorry, but it is. Like the idea that the Americans would have a civil war if Kamala Harris won the elections. Why is it retarded? Well, we already see what happened under Joe Biden. Like under Joe Biden, they censored the internet. You couldn't say that the elections were stolen. You couldn't even talk about Hunter Biden's laptop. Everybody associated with Donald Trump got locked up. The banks were looking into the people that went to January 6th, except for Nick Fuentes, and they were shutting down credit cards and shit. You had the cocaine in the White House. You had titties in the White House. You had absolute madness and meltdown. How many Americans rose up? Like, how many right-wing riots did you see in states? And don't get me wrong, like, the British in the UK rioted a lot more than the Americans did under Joe Biden. They wouldn't do the thing. No one is going to do the thing. It's 2026, okay? People in the cities that are fat, they're not going to do shit. The only way you would have something happening is if governors would talk bad shit. But that's the thing with the Democrats. Like, they were including a lot of governors in the grift. And so they didn't care. They were cocking the military. Like, most of the military got purged during COVID. Who the fuck is going to fight for you, right? You want white nationalism. How many people of color do you have in the military? Do these things matter or not? Like, are we just, like, playing ideology? Or do we looking at, like, how many brigades do you have? How many loyal soldiers are on your side? How many loyal generals are on your side? Or no, like, they just arrange themselves, right? Like, these things just happen. At the very best, you have a grand chimp out. America knows how to handle the grand chimp out. Okay? Like, sure, you know, like some cities burning. Maybe some people go and protest and shit. America knows how to deal with that. We have technology. They can look at how China does it. The Democrats, they absolutely had a hard-on for China. If China can control 1 billion people from not having a grand chimp out, I guarantee to you, the United States can do it as well. People wouldn't have chimped out. If Kamala Harris would have won, you'd have gotten 4 years of Kamala Harris. That's it. And after the 4 years of Kamala Harris, you'd have probably got 4 more years of Kamala Harris. You'd have been censored online. People would have been afraid to speak out. The same political correctness that existed would have kept existing. There's literally no reason whatsoever to believe that anything would have changed. This whole idea of accelerationism is not a proven theory. It's something that came from 4chan. It's something that anonymous people on the internet that are edgy said because it sounds good. The idea is, oh, you have a wall. You're going to drive at full speed and break the wall. Historically speaking, the wall usually wins. It's not how it works. And so, yes, I am still calling Mr. Fuentes a Democrat simply because he wants to vote Democrat. That's it. Like, that's in my life. I don't know why people think it's a grift or anything like that. If Hassan Piker tomorrow wants to vote Republican, I will call him a Republican. It's literally how it works. It's not complex. If you vote for something, you are that thing. I don't give a shit what you believe. If he was to vote Libertarian, like, that would have made more sense, right? He would have voted for the third party. But, like, notice how he doesn't really have a plan. This is what I'm pointing out. He doesn't talk about primarying people. He doesn't talk about primarying Republicans. He doesn't talk about, you know, like, training some guys to join the Republican Party and then watch their careers. He doesn't talk about judges or prosecutors or anything like that he can support over there. No. It's literally vote Democrat. That's his solution. Vote Democrat. Get Kamala Harris in. Okay. You're a Democrat. Like, and by the way, imagine if Hassan Piker did the same shit, right? Like, if Hassan Piker said, the reason the revolution isn't happening is because Joe Biden won the elections. And so what we need to do now is to vote for Donald Trump. We need to support the Republicans because people will get so angry that they will go out on the streets. Is the left on the streets right now? Yes, in some places they are. They're in Minneapolis. They're, protesting against ICE. How is that going for them? Is there a civil war? No. Most leftists don't give a shit, right? Like Trump just demolished the DEI. Trump is demolishing their whole their whole grift with diversity, inclusivity, and equity through universities and stuff. He's deporting people. He's freaking out the left. What are the left doing? Jack shit. They're not doing nothing. It's like, of course they're not doing nothing. Again, like the very idea that in 2026, like people just rise up and like, no, it's the age of technology. People have smartphones. You rise up, the government knows where you are. You try to organize, you send an email to someone, you're going to show up to a protest, the government is aware. This is not like the old days, oh my goodness, you have guns. Yeah, the government has computers. Like, they can come to your house when you're asleep and just arrest you. They can shut down your bank account. You can't buy bullets. Yeah, it's just like... but anyway, the fact that he is admitting, like he admitted in several points that his purpose is to demoralize the MAGA movement. He's not there to criticize the MAGA movement. He's to demoralize. He makes fun of white nationalism. This is another thing that I don't understand. Like, I thought he's the white nationalist guy. He now makes fun of it. It's like, okay, so like, what does he believe in? The Democrat Party. That's what he believes in. Yes, I will call him a Democrat, exactly as he suggested in this video. He is absolutely correct. I'm calling him a Democrat because he votes Democrat. And the other thing, voting doesn't matter. Well, if voting doesn't matter, surely he will not be upset if people vote Republican. Because it doesn't matter, right? Jesus. Voting doesn't matter. And now he made an entire video literally explaining how it matters because, like, people didn't have La Grande chimp out since Donald Trump won the elections. To be fair, what I think would have happened if Kamala Harris had won, I think should have tried to do the same thing. Like, first of all, the Epstein files would be dead. No one would talk about them. Trump brought them up. I don't even know why he did it. But Kamala Harris wouldn't have brought up the Epstein files. It would have been massive censorship online. No one would even talk about them, right? So, like, that issue buried. Her war in Iran, she probably wouldn't have done anything about Venezuela, right? So that one is just off the table. It shouldn't have been criticized for it. But in Iran, I think should have done a massive failure. I think what Donald Trump basically said was that Israel was going to attack, and so like America attacked first or something like that. He had a press conference. I don't think Kamala Harris would have taken the initiative, and so if Iran would have retaliated and American people would die, then America would have found the war justified. They would definitely, like, even if Israel started and Iran, like, somehow managed to retaliate and killed, like, some American soldiers, I honestly believe, yes, like, most right-wingers would have rallied behind Kamala. And the reason I'm basing this, like, again, I'm not pulling it out of my ass. Historically speaking, America is usually politically divided, right? Because it's a two-party system. The division is a lot more strong than you have in Europe. However, whenever there's an attack, like a terrorist attack, like a 9/11, or whenever there's war, immediately Americans just set aside their differences, and on that matter, even though they're grumpy, even though they say whatever, they still get behind the leader. And you see, like, the leader just boop, going up in the approval polls. I think, like, Trump is a little bit different because, like, he's so effective in the sense that by the time people realize it happened, it's already over, that he doesn't benefit from this, right? Like in Venezuela, by the time people find out, Maduro is already in custody. Iran, by the time people find out, like, two supreme leaders are already in the ground. And so, like, he doesn't get to benefit from the prolonged exposure from what Bush did when he got 9/11 or the war in Iraq and stuff like that. But yes, no, it's actually really good for Americans that Kamala Harris didn't win, and I'll tell you why. Okay, like, if you're an American and you want to know why it's actually good that Kamala Harris didn't win, it's like, set aside the moral nonsense, you know, like, put aside everything about Israel, put aside everything about Iran, Epstein, okay? I'm not saying to forget them, I'm saying, like, put them aside for a second, and ask yourself how the economy would have been. Like, when you went to the gas pump, if Kamala Harris was still president, how expensive would the gas be? right? If you want to do a business on the internet, how much censorship would you have? How many regulations would there be, right? So this is like something that I've noticed a lot of people on X don't talk about. Like, sure, Trump may not be the best president, but the economy, in my opinion, is not as bad as it was during Biden. Like, the inflation isn't as bad. A lot of the unemployment, from what I'm seeing, like, maybe I'm surrounded myself with, like, lucky Americans that managed to find jobs, but the situation, the economy isn't as bleak, right? And so, I don't know, like, does that matter? Like, is it important at all? You know, like, your day-to-day life, like, how much you can carry from the grocery store, how much your gas costs, you know, like, is this important? Because I think, like, under Kamala Harris, it would have been a lot worse, you know? Like, if you think Bidenomics were bad, and not to mention, like, DEI would have kept going, and, I guess this was a cost that Mr. Fuentes was willing to pay. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.